Hey, what's up, Raider Nation? Happy Friday. It's day 5 of the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine. So, what do we have? Tom Pelissero reported the Raiders are getting many calls on Max Crosby, which is no surprise. It's part of the business, right? You make and listen to calls. In this case, um, the Raiders don't have to make any calls. They're just going to receive a ton of calls, and it's their job to listen and see at least what kind of deals other teams are trying to make. um, of course, the media circus kind of stirs the pot. Reminds me of when we were in high school, and then people instigate, saying, "Hey, you said this," and they said that, and eventually it turns into a fight, right? Um, my feelings are, the Raiders want to keep Max, but of course they're going to listen to what kind of proposals other teams are making. I mean, you're just not doing your job if you're not listening. Max even said it himself, prior to all of this, he's not getting it, as involved on the business side. He just wants to play. So, nothing that I want to entertain much and unless it really turns into something. But, that is a report coming in, from the scouting combine. I mentioned this, before the scouting combine started. We're going to hear a lot of Max Crosby news, right? Um, Other news, Indiana cornerback D'Angelo Pons. He might be projected, to be picked in the second round, maybe the third, maybe late one. He's on the, and it's because he's on the smaller side. He's 5'9", below 200 pounds, but I mean, he's a baller. He confirmed that he spoke with the Raiders and was asked about Fernando Mendoza, of course, and to no surprise, he had nothing but great things to say about Mendoza as a teammate. We do need a cornerback. There's a lot of positions that we need to fill. So, look at some game tape on D'Angelo Pons. It'd be nice if we could possibly land him, in the late, second round or early in the third round. Again, I want to get my O lineman at 2. I want to get an elite O lineman to protect Mendoza or protect whoever the starting quarterback is. We got to build that line, but we do need a cornerback too. So check out D'Angelo Pons. Check out his interview. Fernando Mendoza, was interviewed. He spoke to the press, and by no surprise, he just said all the right things, answered all the questions correctly. Um, what stood out to me is asked by one of the media members what he would say if the team didn't pick him at number one. And he said he wouldn't have anything bad to say. Now, you remember he wouldn't have anything bad to say because there's a bunch of great players in the draft. I mean, it just kind of shows the character of Fernando Mendoza, right? That's a answer by a true leader. You remember Rogers' answer when the Niners didn't pick him with their number one pick? He immediately said, you know, they'll be sorry they didn't pick me, which is true. They probably are sorry that they didn't pick Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, Rodgers has been a headache for every team that he's played for. No matter how great he is, no matter how good he is, um, you know, he wasn't mature enough to answer that question correctly. Mendoza, he just, says everyone in the draft is good. He doesn't care if he gets picked number one or picked, last in the draft. And he probably doesn't mean that, but he's saying the right things, right? Um, so he's already a true professional, and the maturity, he's ahead of his time. So with those answers, it just shows the kid has character. He has a right head on his shoulders. I think, it's easy to say Fernando Mendoza will go number one. He also mentioned, it'd be a great opportunity to work with Tom Brady, of course. Um, and then besides that, I mean, there's a lot going on, but, I think we're going to have to see when today's done what more news is, going on, because I'm sure there's more interviews taking place, maybe right now or after, I post this video. So since it's Friday, I usually do this on Thursdays or Fridays. I just want to have a flashback Friday today and remember Jeff George. Who remembers Jeff George? Now, he didn't have a great career with the Raiders. He was only with us from 1997 to 1998. But, during his time as a QB for the Oakland Raiders, he started 23 games, throwing for 5,103 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 14 picks. The Raiders picked Jeff George after cutting Hostetler in in 1997, because that's when George started. He got hurt in 1998, and then had a conflict with the team. Rich Gannon takes over, and then the rest is history. So we really only had to go through two quarterbacks to start becoming a winning team, back when the Raiders came back to Oakland. And the reason why I bring up Jeff George, because no matter what, no matter how his career was with the Raiders, he was sure fun to watch. I mean, the guy could sling the ball, he could throw it. He was a Gatorade first Gatorade player of the year. But I mean, the guy could throw the ball. There's not much quarterbacks that could throw the ball like Jeff George. So it was fun to watch while he lasted. I mean, his main targets were Tim Brown and Ricky Dudley, if you remember that name. Um, he was fun to watch, and it's crazy to say I wish we had this problem last year or the year before. But his problem is he scored too fast. So he would score so fast that the defense never even got a chance to rest, right? So that's a nice problem to have. But you know, I think Jeff George deserves his flowers. He was the guy on our team before we became a really good team. But no matter what, he was fun to watch. So, what are your thoughts, Raider Nation, on so far what's going on in the scouting combine? What do you think about the interviews so far with Fernando Mendoza, um, Crosby? If you want to talk about that, let me know your thoughts, Raider Nation. I hope you have a great weekend. And, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and share, follow. Until next time, peace out, Raider Nation.